seems that 2024 might not start off pretty well for some. On the 8th of January 2024, Shepherd Bushiri will lose his mansion at Midstream Estates in Centurion. A fleet of cars comprising a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a Bentley, a Rolls-Royce, a Maserati, a Range Rover, amongst many, will go on auction. The auction, according to the Johannesburg High Court, is to repay some of the over 200 million rand loan Bushiri and his wife owe. The loan was taken with JM Basha Investments. They have obtained a writ of execution order at the Johannesburg High Court for the loan to be repaid through the sequestration of Bushiri's assets.
Well, they say you can't put a good man down, but the definition of a good man depends who you're talking to and how well you know the person. Welcome to African Boss, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and I thank you for your help. The controversial pastor, Prophet Bushiri, was the hot ticket in town for his end of the year crossover on the 31st of December 2023 in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi, where he is based. This is done every year. I do remember when he was still in South Africa, he used to fill up the FNB stadium with his guests. This was before he escaped South Africa from multiple charges. But everyone seems to be able to escape from the law in South Africa. I'm in no way comparing these two instances, but if Thabo Bester managed to escape from prison with the help of Nadipa Magudumana, well, then the escape by the Bushiris, you'd expect, could have been fairly easy because of all their vast connections and their vast wealth. By the way, the Thabo Bester Nadipa case seems to have gone quiet. Maybe fatigue is settling in. At no point discussing Magudumana and Bester forever, isn't it? For sure, they have had their time in the sun. A prison is where they belong. Lock them up and throw the keys away. These sort of trials are an Achilles heel on democracy. You know they're guilty as anything. But authoritarian governments won't bother with short trials like this, wasting millions of taxpayers' money and making them into celebrities. They will just put Bester and Nandipa away and forget about it, and then we can move on. But it's not the way it is these days. We are a democratic society, and therefore we have to allow the rule of law to take its course at the expense of millions and millions of dollars. For Bushiri, it must have been hard to leave all that he had built in South Africa, all his work, and the South African government are still trying to get him extradited back to South Africa, which I don't think will happen. I'll tell you why it won't happen. It seems the prosecution are having difficulties getting witnesses from South Africa into Malawi. A lot of adjournments. I'm not a legal mind, but I think the case will be thrown out because the court can't just keep on postponing things because the prosecution can't bring witnesses. Or do not forget that he's also held in the highest esteem in Malawi, and definitely the court of public opinion is in his favor. But having said all this, there were question marks in some people's minds if he would still have the same momentum and the attraction. Evidently, he still has the pull, and a lot of guests, predominantly from South Africa, were in attendance and invaded the capital city of Malawi, Lilongwe, as they came in to see their father. Guests descended on the capital city from many African countries, particularly neighbors Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, and others as far as Eritrea. The enthusiastic followers who addressed Prophet Bushiri by names such as Papa, Major One, Father, Prophet, Bishop, etc. There's so many, I cannot keep up with these names. You know, I still find it a little hard when an elderly man or a woman, as they're calling themselves as sons and daughters of Major One. I mean, he's quite young, isn't it? But all this is reflective of the modern era of the charismatic church, isn't it? It does seem as the world is advancing, so is Christianity, or the understanding of it. Whether this is wrong or right, I don't know. Certainly, when we grew up, someone calling a younger man Papa, etc. was unheard of. You know, flashy cars and clothes were not a thing. Flamboyant pastors were not a thing. These days, the richest cohort of self-made millionaires in Africa are pastors. They have private jets and they flaunt their wealth. And the more you flaunt it, the more followers you have. It is almost like a contradiction because the Christianity based on humility and faith seems to have taken a backstage. Now it's all about the prophet or the bishop or whatever the case might be. Now, I'm not in a way an expert on religion, just an observer. But however, there was commotion in Lilongwe as thousands upon thousands gathered for Bushiri's conference. Now, this has created a problem of accommodation. Lilongwe is simply not equipped to handle this kind of numbers as they have been seen in Malawi from various foreign visitors. And maybe the Ministry of Tourism may take a lesson from how Bushiri does it. It's not a bad thing learning from others. Pastor Bushiri seems to still have that pull. He seems to still have that attraction. And by all indications, he seems to be back on top of the game.